Love, trust, and adventure after 60. There is a kind of love that does not need to be loud anymore. It does not need to prove itself in front of the world. It does not need dramatic declarations, perfect photos, or constant excitement. After 60, love becomes something deeper. It becomes steadier, quieter, more honest, and in many ways, more powerful. Because by this stage of life, most people are not looking for fairy tales. They're looking for peace. They're looking for someone who feels like home, someone who can sit beside them in silence without making the silence feel lonely. Someone who understands that love is not only about romance. It is about trust. It is about companionship. It is about communication. And sometimes it is about adventure. Not reckless adventure, not running away from life, but the kind of adventure that says, we are still here, we are still alive, we can still discover something new together. For many people over 60, love changes because life has changed. The body changes, energy changes, priorities change. The future feels more precious because time no longer feels endless. And because of that, relationships can either become more intentional or slowly drift into routine. This is why love after 60 needs more than habit. It needs attention. It needs tenderness. It needs two people willing to keep choosing each other, not because life is perfect, but because the bond still matters. When we are younger, love is often built on attraction, dreams, chemistry, and possibility. But after 60, love is often built on something much more meaningful. It is built on presence. Can I trust you with my fears? Can I talk to you without being dismissed? Can I be myself around you without performing? Can we still laugh together? Can we still grow together? Can we still have small adventures, even if life is not as easy as it used to be? These questions matter, because love after 60 is not about pretending you are young. It is about refusing to become emotionally old before your time. There is a difference. You do not need to chase youth to feel alive. You do not need to act like you are 25, but you do need to keep curiosity alive. You do need to keep warmth alive. You do need to keep the door open to joy. And one of the greatest mistakes couples can make after 60 is assuming that love will keep itself alive automatically. It does not. Love is living, and anything living needs care. A garden does not stay beautiful because it was planted years ago. It stays beautiful because someone keeps watering it. Someone pulls the weeds. Someone notices when the soil is dry. Relationships are the same. You can love someone deeply and still neglect the connection. You can share a house and still stop sharing your heart. You can sit beside each other every evening and still slowly become strangers. This is not because the love is gone. Sometimes it is because life became practical. Bills, health concerns, family responsibilities, appointments, news, routines, fatigue, the ordinary weight of being human. And slowly, without meaning to, couples stop asking the questions that once opened their hearts. How are you really feeling? What do you still dream about? What scares you lately? What would make you feel more loved? What do you miss about us? What would you like us to experience before this year is over? These questions may sound simple, but they are not small. They are doorways. After 60, communication becomes one of the greatest forms of intimacy. Because the relationship does not need more noise, it needs more truth. And truth does not always mean conflict. Truth can be gentle. Truth can be kind. Truth can sound like, I miss feeling close to you. It can sound like, I know we have both been tired, but I do not want us to become distant. It can sound like, I still want to know you. That sentence alone can change a relationship. I still want to know you. Because one of the myths about long-term love is that once you have been with someone for years, you already know them. But people keep changing, even after 60, especially after 60. A person may carry new fears they have never spoken about. A person may have dreams they feel embarrassed to admit. A person may be grieving an old version of themselves. A person may be wondering if they still matter. And when couples stop being curious, they stop seeing each other clearly. They begin relating to an old version of the person, the version from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The version they assume is still there. But love needs fresh eyes. Love says, "Who are you becoming now?" Not just, "Who have you always been?" That is where trust grows. Trust is not only about loyalty. Trust is also about emotional safety. Can I tell you the truth without being punished for it? Can I be vulnerable without having it used against me later? Can I make a mistake and still be treated with dignity? Can I grow without you mocking me? Can I be quiet without you assuming the worst? For many people, trust after 60 has been shaped by decades of life. Some have experienced betrayal. Some have lost a spouse. Some have gone through divorce. Some have stayed in relationships where communication was never truly safe. Some have spent years being strong because there was no other choice. So when we talk about love after 60, we cannot talk only about romance. We have to talk about healing. Because mature love often asks two people to meet each other with tenderness where life has left bruises. And tenderness matters. Not the childish kind, the strong kind. The kind that says, "I know you have lived through things I may never fully understand, but I will not add more harm." That is love with wisdom. And wisdom is needed because adventure after 60 does not always mean climbing mountains or flying across the world. Sometimes adventure is walking a new trail together, trying a new class, planning a weekend away, dancing in the kitchen, planting a garden, learning something neither of you has done before, taking the long road home, watching the sunrise, starting a project together, laughing at something silly, saying yes when routine keeps saying no. Adventure is not about danger, it is about aliveness. And couples need aliveness. Because comfort is beautiful, but too much sameness can make a relationship sleepy. You still need moments where you look at each other and think, "There you are, I forgot how much I enjoy you." That moment matters. It can return. But it usually does not return by accident. It returns when two people create space for it. After 60, many couples stop dating each other. They may still love each other. They may still depend on each other. But they stop creating moments that feel special. The relationship becomes maintenance. Groceries, appointments, television, errands, sleep, repeat. There is nothing wrong with ordinary life. In fact, ordinary life is where love proves itself. But ordinary life still needs small sparks, not drama. Sparks. A sincere compliment, a walk without phones, a meal where the conversation is not about problems, a hand held for no reason, a shared plan on the calendar, a note left on the counter, a memory revisited, a new memory created. These are small things, but small things become the atmosphere of a relationship, and atmosphere matters. A home can feel heavy even when nothing terrible is happening, or it can feel warm because kindness has been practiced there. Love after 60 is often less about grand gestures and more about the emotional climate. How do we speak to each other? Do we soften each other's day, or do we add tension? Do we listen, or do we wait to correct? Do we assume good intentions, or do we prepare for battle? Do we make room for joy, or do we only discuss what is wrong? These questions are not glamorous, but they are the real work. Because after 60, many people have no patience left for emotional games. And honestly, that can be a gift. You begin to realize that peace is not boring. Peace is wealth. Trust is wealth. A loving companion is wealth. Someone who knows how you take your tea, notices when you are tired, and cares whether you are okay. That is not small. That is sacred, ordinary beauty. But trust also requires repair. Every relationship has moments of disappointment. Every couple misreads each other sometimes. Every long-term bond carries some old wounds. The question is not whether you have hurt each other. The question is whether you can repair. Repair is one of the most important relationship skills after 60. It sounds like, "I am sorry I spoke sharply." It sounds like, "I did not realize that hurt you." It sounds like, "Can we start again?" It sounds like, "I want to understand, not win." That last one is powerful. I want to understand, not win. Because many couples get stuck in the habit of proving who is right. But being right does not always bring you closer. Sometimes it only builds a wall with better arguments. Love after 60 asks a wiser question. Not who won, But did we protect the connection? This does not mean ignoring real problems. It does not mean pretending everything is fine. It means learning how to speak about hard things without destroying tenderness. That is mature love. And mature love is not weak. It may be the strongest love of all, because it has seen life, it has seen loss, it has seen bodies change, money change, family dynamics change, plans change, health change. And still it says, let us keep walking. There is something deeply beautiful about two people choosing each other at this stage, not because they are naive, but because they know exactly how fragile life can be. They know that tomorrow is not promised, so they stop wasting so much time on pride. They stop making small things into lifelong battles. They begin to understand that affection should not be postponed, that kindness should not be saved for special occasions, that adventure should not always wait for perfect conditions, because perfect conditions may never arrive. The weather may not be ideal. The body may not feel perfect. The schedule may not be clear. The bank account may not be exactly where you want it. But life is still asking to be lived, and love is still asking to be expressed. So maybe the adventure begins with one decision. Let us not become emotionally asleep. Let us not let routine steal our tenderness. Let us not assume there will always be more time. Let us create something together now. A walk, a trip, a new tradition, a conversation, a Sunday breakfast, a small garden, a shared dream, a promise to speak more gently, a promise to listen more deeply, a promise to choose connection over pride. That is where love after 60 becomes extraordinary, not because it looks perfect from the outside, but because it becomes intentional on the inside. Love after 60 is not about chasing the past. It is about building a new chapter with the wisdom the past gave you. And trust is the bridge into that chapter. Communication is the path. Companionship is the comfort. Adventure is the breath of fresh air. Together, they create a relationship that still has life in it, still has warmth, still has laughter, still has possibility. So if you are over 60 and you are in a relationship, ask yourself this: are we only living beside each other, or are we still living with each other? Are we only managing life, or are we still sharing life? Are we only remembering who we used to be, or are we discovering who we are becoming? And if you are not in a relationship right now, this message still matters. Because love after 60 is not only for couples who have been together for decades. It is also for those who are beginning again, those who have lost love, those who have been disappointed by love, those who wonder whether companionship is still possible. And the answer is yes. Not always in the way you expected, not always on the timeline you imagined, but the heart does not expire at 60. The desire to be seen does not disappear. The need for connection does not become childish. You are not too old for affection. You are not too old for joy. You are not too old for adventure. You are not too old to be known. The beautiful thing about this stage of life is that love can become less about performance and more about truth. Less about impressing someone, more about resting with someone. Less about pretending, more about being real. And that kind of love is worth protecting. So begin simply, speak kindly, listen longer, repair faster, laugh more often, create small adventures, protect trust, hold hands when you can, and do not let the years convince you that the best chapters are already behind you. Sometimes, the deepest love is not the one that arrives early. Sometimes, it is the one that survives, the one that matures, the one that learns, the one that becomes less like fireworks and more like a steady flame. And a steady flame can warm a whole home. Love, trust, and adventure after 60 are not luxuries. They are part of staying alive inside. And at this stage, that matters more than ever. Because the goal is not simply to grow older together. The goal is to keep becoming more present, more honest, more connected, and more alive together. One conversation at a time, one act of trust at a time, one small adventure at a time. In the next episode, we will look at how to build meaningful relationships after 60, without feeling like you have to start your whole life over. Because connection at this stage is not always about finding a brand new world. Sometimes it is about seeing the people, the love, and the possibilities already around you with new eyes. We will explore how to deepen trust, rebuild closeness, and create relationships that feel honest, peaceful, and alive. Until then, keep choosing connection, keep your heart open, and stay re-inspired.
I hope this video brought you value and re-inspired you. If so, please subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. And if anybody you know could use a little re-inspiration, please send it to them. Thank you so much for watching.